What's up, what's up, what's up, my fellow creators? Welcome, guys. I hope you're having a beautifully, phenomenally blessed day. Thank you for joining me for a moment in Becky's House of Cards. Today we are going down the rabbit hole with a pick a card reading in what was my past life like. I'm going to do this reading just a little bit different than I've done the others. So, yeah, I don't know. I'm just seeing what works for me, I guess. I don't know. It's just I like doing different things all the time. So it's more fun that way, guys. So with that being said, please like this video, share this video, subscribe to the channel down below, set that notification bell so you always know when the next video does go live. Knowing that that is a free way to support the channel as well as to connect with me energetically to get you guys out more resonating readings. If you guys are interested in supporting the channel further or getting a personal reading, that will be linked down below in the description box. I do want to say thank you to anyone and everyone who has liked, shared, commented, subscribed, who has donated, is thinking about donating, who has gotten a personal reading, or who is thinking about getting a personal reading. You guys are truly amazing, and it just means so much to me. And as always, I want to send a shout out to my OGs, my new Gs, and anybody that allows me your most precious asset, your time. As always, it's an honor, pleasure, blessing being here, giving you guys these messages. And my prayer is that any of the messages of mine that you happen to watch fall upon your hearts in a way that remind you to use your intuition, to use your discernment, to take back your power, and to make the decisions that serve your highest journey in this here, now, here moment. Aw, my dog just kissed my leg. So sweet. So, alright guys, let's get into it. We'll go ahead and shuffle and see what is it that the collective, what was their past life like, source? For piles 1, 2, and 3. What was the collective's past life like for piles 1, 2, and 3? What was the collective's past life like, source? Piles 1, 2, and 3. Okay, thank you. What was the collective's past life like, piles 1, 2, and 3? So there's no telling where this is going to go. This is for those of you that have done past life regressions. This could be that confirmation that you're looking for. So what was the collective's past life like, source? Piles 1, 2, and 3. Okay. What was the collective's past life like, source? Piles 1, 2, and 3. Thank you, source. Alright, so pile number 1, what was their past life like, source? Pile number 1. Okay. Pile number 2, what was their past life like, source? Pile number 2. What was their past life like for pile number 2? What was the past life like for pile number 2, source? Past life like for pile number 2. What was their past life like, source, for pile number 2? Okay, what was the past life like for pile number 3, source? What was the past life like for pile number 3? Okay. What was the past life like for pile number 1, source? Past life for pile number 1. What was it like? What was their past life like for pile number 1? Okay. What was the past life like for pile number 2, source? What was the past life like for pile number 2? Okay. Thank you. What was the past life like for pile number 3? What was the past life like for pile number 3? Thank you. What was the past life like for pile number 1, source? Past life like for pile number 1. Okay, thank you. What was the past life like for pile number 2, source? What was the past life like for pile number 2? What was the past life like for pile number 2? Thank you. And what was the past life like for pile number 3? What was the past life like for pile number 3, source? What was the past life like for pile number 3, source? What was the past life like for pile number 3? Okay, thank you. I'm not going to do a mini reading today, guys, because I don't feel like y'all lived in the same time frames or whatever, so... Pile number 1, source, oracle for pile number 1. Oracle for pile number 1, source. What's the oracle for pile number 1? Thank you. Okay, oracle for pile number 2, source. What's the oracle for pile number 2? So oracle for pile number 2 source. Oracle for pile number 2. Oracle for pile number 2 source. Oracle for pile number 2. Thank you. Okay, oracle for pile number 3 source. Oracle for pile number 3. Okay, they want this one. Thank you. Okay. Pile number 1 source. Oracle for pile number 1. Thank you. Oracle for pile number 2 source. Oracle for pile number 2. Oracle for pile number 2 source. Thank you. Oracle for pile number 3 source. Oracle for pile number 3. Thank you. Oracle for pile number 1 source. Thank you. Pile number 2. Oh, thank you. Pile number 3. Thank you. That was simple. Love when they come out like that. All right, let's get one of these. Pile number 1 source. Pile number 1. Okay. Pile number 2 source for pile number 2. Okay. And for pile number 3 source, pile number 3. Okay, thank you. Alright, let's get some of these. Pile number 1 source. Wow, if I can hold my cards together here, guys. Pile number 1. Okay, pile number 2 source. Okay. And pile number 3. Okay, they want this one. And they want this one for pile number 1. Pile number 1 source. Pile number 1. Pile number 2 source. Okay. Pile number 3 source. Okay, so for pile number 1, I'm going to put this amethyst stone on. Okay. For pile number 2, we'll do the clear quartz. And for pile number 3, we'll do the lapis lazuli. So pile 1, pile 2, and pile 3. Okay, if you guys need more time, please take that time. Pause the video. I'm going to move these out of the way. I'm going to move on to pile number 1. So for those of you that chose the amethyst, let's get your cards set out. I don't usually do all the cards at once, but I'm going to try it this time. So, what was your past life like? We have justice in the reverse. We have the King of Coins. Okay, we have the 10 of Wands. We have rain, purification. We have volcano, volatility. We have sacred ibis, learning, number 22. We have faith, trust your faith in the situation, number 12. We have thank you for choosing to overcome your struggles, love source. Okay, we have I love you but you scare me, all of my triggers are present when you are near, especially the ones I'm not ready to face. Okay. Not all of these are going to be able to fit on screen, guys. It's step back, refocus on yourself. For when you know how to love yourself, you won't just settle for whatever comes along. Okay? And delighted. So in your past life, you guys had a lot of injustice when it came to your relationships, which is actually carried over into your current life. Even though towards the end, you purified your sense and how you looked at your soul and how you looked at what it was that you wanted. But there were a lot of people who you triggered in your life, and that could be because you were successful. And so instead of focusing on love, you actually focused on your money. You could have been a king, you could have been a queen, you could have been of some sort of royalty, which is why you guys had difficulty in love. Like a lot of arranged marriages coming through. That's what I keep hearing. And there was a friendship that you were actually in love with somebody and you weren't able to have that love. That's where your injustice comes from. And so the person that you were married to, the person that you were with, you guys had to learn how to deal with one another, even though there was a lot of injustice when it came to that. Like, I'm talking about you guys judged each other for some really crazy things. Like, you guys would see the other one do something. So maybe there was cheating. This is, again, just an example that's coming through for you guys. There was cheating, and one of you guys would blame the other for cheating, but both of you guys were cheating in the situation. And you guys were sent to each other karmically to help each other heal some definite deep wounds. And the biggest thing was so that you guys could both learn how to have faith, right? This was so you guys could learn how to have faith. But there was a friendship that you had that you wanted to connect with on a deeper level to get married to, and you weren't able to. And so that is something that's going to come up in this lifetime, where you guys are going to have a deeper connection with somebody rather than just a surface level connection or an arranged marriage or something that was preset for you. Like, you didn't have a choice and you had to do what they told you to do. You're very stable. You were a very stable person. You had no problem doing what was necessary in order for you to get ahead. Not in the way of stepping on people's toes or being ruthless or rude or anything like that. You guys knew how to exhibit strength and power and stability, and people honored you for that. People had a lot of faith and trust in you, and they put their trust in you, and you were constantly learning new things. Like, you immersed yourself in your studies. And after a while, you learned how to live with whomever it was that you were married to. You learned how to enjoy their company. But it actually took you guys both taking time away from one another. So there's this split that I'm seeing in your guys' connection. There's like this split, like somebody went away for a time being, and then you both are like only working on what it was that was interesting to you. So for you, it was definitely an education. So I feel like you brought that from your past life as well. But your past life was more about you educating yourself on worldly things. And not just because of the high position that you held, but you didn't like your position. You felt like you felt like it would have been better to have been a commoner. And so I feel like you guys have brought that over into this life of feeling like people trust you and people look at you and they look to you to lead, and you're just like, like, I don't know, why me? Why should I be a leader? Like, that's a thought process that's been brought over into this life. But you had a lot of hurt and pain that fell into your lap in your past life, and that's something that kept you from being happy. It's not that you didn't find contentment, you did, but there was no real sense of happiness here. There's a lot of arguing, and I feel like there was maybe a war that you guys went to, and after a while, it was like you guys really truly, it was like after so much loss and heartbreak and misunderstanding of one another and misunderstanding of who it was that you wanted to be in life, you turned to something deeper, and it was putting your trust in a higher source. But it was only towards the end of your life. It was only towards the end of your life that you did this. And so I feel like you guys have brought into this life a deep need to connect with something spiritual. You guys are connecting spiritual. You guys are learning how to practice faith, which has actually maybe been something that was hard for you guys in the very beginning. And the reason it's been really hard for you guys is because you didn't start overcoming that until towards the end of your life, in your past life. And so it was like you still brought over a lot of trepidations from that. And now in this life, you're not just going to settle. Like, this energy of settling was because you guys had to settle. It was like unfair, but it had to happen that way. There was nothing that you could have done for that. And you guys were basically karmics for each other. So whoever it was that was in your life, you guys were karmics. And this was a cleansing. This lifetime that we're talking about here was a cleansing of your soul. Like, it had to happen for some misdeeds that had come over from a prior life for that one. And that's just a part of the journey. Source is saying, like, you had to experience this as a part of the journey. And there's a beautiful energy coming through now. But you're going to learn in this lifetime, from this past lifetime, that things are not as they always seem. Like, where before you guys would blow your top off at just the slightest misunderstanding, or anything really would just make you guys get upset, even though you were firm in your direction. But because you couldn't connect with this person that you saw as a deep friend, like a best friend, it was somebody you wanted to be in love with. And this could have been a same-sex relationship, not allowed in that time. It doesn't have to be, okay? It doesn't have to be, but that is something that's coming through here. For some of you guys, if it's not same-sex, it was something that was forbidden, like you have a king with a peasant, right? And that was something that was forbidden, and so it was like something that you guys had to learn how to overcome. And that was a huge trigger for you, being with this person that you had to be with. It was something that triggered you constantly. And by the end of your lifetime, you learned how to just be friends with this person, and to, like, I feel like they were a part of your go-to crowd, even if it was in secret, because there's this sense of secrecy that's coming through here. But in the end, you guys did overcome these struggles. Like, you guys were forced to live this life, and you in being forced to live that life, you guys were able to really trust in this process, and trust in the fact that, you know what, I can't change it, so I'm going to make the best. It's like making the best of a bad situation, and you guys were able to do that, right? And that's a beautiful thing that you guys had going for you. A lot of transformations. You guys were not the same person by the end of your life as you were at the beginning of your life. Like I said, there's a lot of hostility that's coming from the very beginning, and by the end, you guys had found peace. It was like you guys were welcoming of your death. You weren't afraid, and you guys didn't have a rough death. Like, that wasn't something that came through. It was very serene. So I feel like you guys did definitely live to an old age in a prior life. And honestly, in all things here, the most important part about this situation and this life that you lived was that you guys completed a very vicious cycle from something that you brought beyond. And that was basically reacting instead of responding to situations that were karmic. You started out reacting, but by the time you got to your older age, you guys learned how to respond. It was like, so if things happened that maybe triggered you, instead of blowing up and being angry about it, you guys would step back and be like, okay, not necessarily a lot of self reflection. This was just about gaining knowledge. It was like you guys had gained so much knowledge that by the time you guys got older, that it was easier for you guys to deal with tough situations, difficult situations, things that, you know, weren't working out for you. And I feel like in the end, whoever it was that you guys were forced to marry, you guys actually became friends. Like, you guys were actually able to put all your differences aside, and you guys were able to become friends because of it, you know. And so in this life, you guys may have been connected with somebody that you know you couldn't have been with. Like, it could have been very karmic by nature, but it's like this person came back in to remind you of how much you had learned from a prior life. And so there's a definite deep beauty that's coming through in that. And Source is just thanking you because you guys chose to overcome your struggles in a different kind of way than what was accepted by society. Is like, instead of just staying in that same energy, that same low vibrational energy, you guys chose to embrace learning as something beautiful in your journey. And you guys really grew up beyond that and purified your soul, you know. And that's something that's a wonderful thing to have. And then by the end of it, you guys came into a very faith-led life, whether that was through religion or whatever it was. you know, being that you guys were probably in a royalty status, it probably had to do with Catholicism or something along those lines, but you guys were able to embrace it and let that be the guiding light for you guys, and it changed your entire demeanor, which changed the way that you rule, which brought you guys into this life in a much more peaceful way. Okay, so that's what I have for you guys. I hope that that helps. These are actually really fun. I'm just, again, this is a new style. I just wanted it to be a short reading today. I didn't want it to be super long, take forever to shuffle all these cards, and just get it out of the way at one time and see what comes out. But I'm going to leave it there, pile one. Please like this video, share this video, subscribe to the channel down below, set that notification bell so you always know when the next video does go live. And until next time, go forth boldly, my fellow creators, and courageously find creative ways to rise above in life, laughter, and love. Until we meet each other again, mwah. Peace out. I love y'all. Bye. All right. Pile number 2. For those of you that chose the crystal quartz, this is for you. What is my past life like? These aren't going to be very long, guys. They're just a quick glimpse into it. I may do some that are longer in the future, but this is a new thing for me, so we'll see what comes out. What was my past life like? You guys got the Ace of Swords. Ooh, you got the Ace of Coins in the reverse, okay? I can't with you guys. I'm done. You got 3 aces in this. So, yeah, we'll see. I already know where this is going, but yeah, we'll see what else comes out here. So you got the Ace of Cups. We have Autumn Equinox Release. Okay. We have Tiger Will. We have Patience. Love is patient and kind always. I love this. This is number 34, which is 7, and this is number 17, which is 8. So we have 7 and 8 here. We have struggles equal growth. Okay. We have you're being impatient. Isn't that funny? We have patience, and we have you're being impatient when it comes to love. First, you must heal from the past and be fully able to let it go while having forgiveness from the heart. And we have release here. A lot of synchronicities coming up already, guys. Broken hearts can be mended in time. Broken bloodlines can take generations to heal. Okay. And exhausted. I feel like this needs to be over here. Okay. So what was your past life like? Well, I feel like you guys were the philosopher. That was the first thing that came out. But you guys did not make very good money. Like, I feel like you guys gambled a lot with your money. And it's like you guys made money, but you gambled it all away. You made money, you gambled it all away until it was just kind of like you knew about this equal give and take. Like, as long as you give money, you'll receive money. But then suddenly something changed. And it was like, I feel like maybe you guys fell in love with this Ace of Cups here. You guys fell in love, and you were so used to getting things in a very quick manner, and I feel like that's something you definitely exhibit in this life. Is it's almost like the microwave generation. You're very quick. Things need to come quick, like this all the time, and that's something that you guys were like in your past life. And when it came to falling in love, you expected it to be like your mind. Like, your mind was fast. You're very intelligent. You're very witty. You're very charming. And you expected it to be like your money. It came as easily as it went, but you never had anything left over. It was like, as soon as your pockets were full, then they were empty, but then they were full again. You see what I'm saying? But you never had things. Like, I'm getting this image of somebody who just kind of wandered around with a wagon, and that was basically all you had, was the horse and the wagon, and very limited stuff. Like, you slept in the wagon. You slept in this place that was constantly moving, a moving home. And you were exhausted all the time because you felt so alone, but you did find a true love. Like, you found a deep, deep love. And I feel like you guys also believed in a higher power back then. Like, you guys believed in God or source or whatever. You guys could be Wiccans coming through as well, just believing in the different gods and goddesses, or coming from a different kind of religion, you know, like Hindu, there's all kinds, guys. There's all kinds. There's Celtic mythology, Celtic mythology, there's Norse mythology, there's all these things, but definitely believing in something other than yourself, something very powerful. And I know it doesn't make sense for the Ace of Coins to be in the reverse here and having the Ace of Cups in the upright when it had to do with love, but I'm going to tell you why that is. You guys could not manifest this love. You fell in love, but no matter how hard you tried, you could not get this person to come into your life. It's like you were always like running into them. Like you guys always ran into each other. It's like you guys would go to different towns. They traveled a lot too. I keep hearing vagabonds. So maybe you both were vagabonds, a gypsy kind of energy coming through here. And you guys were constantly traveling, constantly going. And I feel like that's something that you also do in this life. Like so it either went one of two ways. You're either a homebody and you never leave your home because that's uncomfortable for you because you spent so much time traveling, or on the up and up, you guys also still like to travel a lot and you constantly travel. Like if you have a solid job, that's fine. If you have a solid home, that's fine. But you guys take vacation like way more than a person normally takes vacation. Like you're just always on the go, always on the move, or you have a job that requires you to travel a lot. I love that you guys got 3 aces. I'm spent by that. Like I can't. And so that was the thing. It was like you guys wanted so badly to manifest a family with whomever this was. And, you know, we have this broken hearts can be mended in time, but broken bloodlines can take generations to heal. The reason why you guys weren't meant to actually manifest a connection with this person is because that was it. It would have taken generations to heal your bloodlines. Like you guys would have changed the outcome of your destiny for your family bloodlines. Right? And so that's the thing. And so I feel like whomever this was, they fell in love with another person and they got married to this other person. And that was a huge struggle for you. But it was also a huge turning point in your life. And it's like no matter how fast you wanted this love to come in, it was like you just couldn't be kind to them after a while. You were just exhausted fighting for them. You were just so spent. It was like, I can't do this anymore. Like I just can't, because I have no will to keep fighting. Like I have no power to keep fighting. I'm not strong enough. There's just too much going on here. So I feel like you guys were, like, it's interesting because this is a lot of feminine energy here, but I feel like you guys were masculine in a prior life. Like, I just really feel like that, even though there's a lot of feminine energy here. It's like, I feel like the feminine is who you guys were fighting for. You guys were fighting for a feminine and you just wanted them, but this feminine was very free-spirited. And like I said, I'm getting a gypsy. Like, I keep seeing a gypsy and I keep seeing you as, like, you're just like that person who knew how to make money, like, you know, you guys were always doing stuff to make money, but you were always equally losing money. Like you guys would invest your money and it would just never pay out, but you still always had a way to make more money. And it was just interesting. It was like always broke, but never broke. You know what I mean? It's like, that's the energy that's coming here. And so like when you met this person, and again, I'm just going to say it as I see it, as you met this woman, even if you guys are women on here, it was just like, this was a lifetime where you were masculine. And as you met this woman, she just changed every aspect of yourselves. And so, like I said, you guys could have still been a man, but still harboring the feminine energy. But this could have been a time when feminines were more empowered in that, you know, like they didn't just give in to the men like they do in current day reality. And so what ended up happening is that you lost all patience. And I feel like there's a huge fight that I'm seeing. Like, it's like you guys had words and then she went off and she married someone else and that just broke your heart. And I feel like you died of a broken heart. Like you had everything that you wanted. You were witty, you were intelligent. Like I said, you were the philosopher. You told stories. You like helped people gain wisdom in a way. But what you couldn't gain was the love of this person. Like you just couldn't manifest the love of this person. And so it just like kind of like that's where things ended for you. You were trying to take so much action to get this that you guys struggled so much and it became overwhelming. I mean, ultimately you had a good life. It's not like it was really bad or anything like that. It was just by the end of it you were really exhausted because you were trying to manifest this love. Like you just wanted it so bad. This person stole your heart from the moment you saw them. It's like love at first sight. But that was the thing. This person had a lot of suitors. This person had a lot of options. This person was desired by many. And it was just like, unfortunately, you didn't make the cut, and that really just didn't sit well with you. It just didn't. It was like, what is it that all those other people have? And so I feel like something that you might struggle with in this current life is worth. Feeling like nothing ever, like you don't seem good enough to do anything. Like people kind of walk away from you a lot, or people leave you a lot, or they just don't stand by you the way that you stand by them. Or maybe you always fall in love with the person that's taken, right? Like maybe if you're a woman in this life, you always fall in love with a man that's with a girlfriend or is married or engaged or whatever. Like that's the kind of energy, and I feel like that's playing the part on here because you guys, you had that broken heart. And that's why Source brought this out. Broken hearts can be mended in time. Broken bloodlines can take generations to heal. Like, this had to happen this way. And you guys will meet this person again. And if you haven't already, there will be a deep, deep obsession with them. But this is still a break in your bloodline. If you actually get together with this person, there will be a break in the bloodline. And it will actually send you guys back thousands of generations. Because of that, it's like what you're meant to learn is seriously, like with all these aces, you're meant to learn how to become so stable with self. And that's something that your past life has taught you. Like that's what it was like. You guys were super stable on yourself, but then because you couldn't manifest a connection with this person, it like broke that. It's almost like you made all this progress and then you had to take 10 steps back. But that's with, there's definitely purpose here. And so I feel like you guys are very fast moving, and you guys also have a deep impatience when it comes to life in this now moment. Like you guys just have a hard time being patient for things. You want things to happen so fast, and you may get frustrated when things don't happen the way that you expect them to, or within the time frame that you expect them to happen in. And knowing that that is something that you carry over from a past life. But look at the success here, guys. I mean, we're talking about all new beginnings on every front. And yes, the Ace of Coins is in the reverse, but that's because there's a gambling problem here. So you guys may have some sort of addiction that you deal with in this life, but that comes from a past life. And it's something that you can choose to heal. And you guys are meant to have success again. This is crazy. I rarely ever get 3 of the same cards out, and that's just so crazy that they all came out together in your guys' reading. So ultimately, you had a beautiful life. It was just this love that really did you guys in. But I love it. That was a fun reading. That was beautiful. I hope that helps, guys. I'm going to leave it there. Please like this video, share this video, subscribe to the channel down below. Set that notification bell so you always know when the next video does go live. And until next time, go forth boldly, my fellow creators, and courageously find creative ways to rise above in life, laughter, and love. Until we meet each other again. Mwah. Peace out. I love y'all. Bye. Wow. Holy moly, macanoli. All right. Choo! Excuse me. Pile number 3. So for those of you that chose the lapis lazuli, check out what was your past life like. Okay, we have judgment. We have the 9 of coins reversed. Okay. We have the 4 of wands. I'm sorry, guys. Like, I really just thought that I saw this in another pile, but that's just weird. Like, deja vu. Yeah, okay. So that's why they're telling me that. I just seriously felt like this came out in one of the other piles, and that's not possible because I'm using one deck between all 3 piles. And so the first thing they want me to say is that this life that you're experiencing now is like deja vu of a past life that you guys lived. So we have the 4 of wands in the reverse. We have judgment. The 9 of coins in the reverse here. We'll get into it, guys. We have Milky Way perspective. We have number 23, which is 5, news and raven. We have number 15, which is 6. Isn't that great? 5 and 6 coming out next to each other. We have practice compassion. See things from a fresh perspective. Perspective. A lot of synchronicities going on already. You are not side chick or side dude material. Okay. Yep, I already see where this is going. Trust that I know what you are truly worthy of and that I am bringing you love that exceeds your wildest imagination. Love source. Okay. No one accepted and loved me the way that you did. It made me think you were playing games, so I played games with you. Now I know how real you are. Okay? Yep. Yep. And we have serene and graceful. Okay, so deja vu. You guys have been cheated on in this lifetime, and that is something that you were cheated on in your past life, and you were cheated on by the same person. The same person. They came back around and they bamboozled you again, no matter what form you guys took. Right? No matter what form you took. And this left you brokenhearted and in a place of really not trusting people. Even you didn't trust people in this life, like in the first place. But the thing is that you have a hard, like in this past life, you had a hard time trusting anybody. And what, like, I don't want to sound rude, but you guys brought over some kind of karma from a prior life before that. And it had to do with your guys' illusion when it came to love. And it left you in a place of being hurt emotionally and mentally. Right? And so, like, you have playing games and you're not side chick or side dude material, right? So you guys were treated as a side dude or a side chick. You guys were the other person. You guys were the mistress or the mister, however you put it. And the saddest thing here is that you guys found out through someone else. You guys were unaware. You were unaware that you were holding this position in this person's life that you loved, and you love them very deeply. Very deeply you love them. And they broke your heart, and it's just like you guys were supposed to heal from that. And what ended up happening is that you closed your whole life off. It was like after this person broke your heart, you guys just went into a dark, dark place. And emotionally, you couldn't handle it, and you just basically lashed out at everybody. It was like you were fine with that, though. Like, you were fine with being in this darkness. You were fine with not having anybody else in your life. So if you were a woman, you just became like they talk about the weird lady with the cats, like that kind of energy, right? Like you didn't go after another person. If you were a man, you died a bachelor. Like, it was just, you guys chose not to go and seek love ever again after this situation happened. You're like, this person I didn't trust coming into life, and this person, I gave them my trust, and they weren't trustworthy. And so you guys were void of the ability to trust anybody outside of yourselves, and you didn't even trust yourselves. I feel like you guys died in solitude. Like, very alone. And there's times when in this lifetime you guys feel very alone. Very much like there's no one there for you. Very much like there's nobody there helping you. And so there's this very, like, cut off energy for you guys. And so, but, like, that's what I'm saying. Like, you guys had this opportunity to heal and you weren't healing. You guys chose not to heal, and you chose not to trust that this happened for a reason. You guys instead sat in judgment of this person. You guys sat in judgment of what had happened. And that's why we have perspective coming out here twice. It's like you have Milky Way perspective, and then you have practice compassion, see things from a fresh perspective. So you have perspective arriving twice here in a very similar color. This light green, talking about your heart chakra, right? And this beautiful butterfly sitting on this little boy's head, and he's holding a sparrow, which indicates family. So you guys don't trust family. You don't trust anybody. And you didn't in this life either. You didn't trust anybody at all. How could you if you got your heart broken? And so the deja vu is coming up again. It's like this person played games with you then, and they're playing games with you now. So there's a deep, deep connection that you have with somebody that's unexplainable, and you're trying to explain it. You've probably done a lot of research on it, and I don't know why Source is trying to bring me here, because this was supposed to be about your past life. But they're saying that there's a deep, deep connection that you're feeling with somebody right now. And you're trying to understand it. You're trying to label it. You're trying to make sense of what's going on. And it's a repeat of this past situation that you were in. They put you guys on decide they didn't want to live with you guys. They didn't want anything more than just to have sex with you and leave. They had no intention of going further with you guys because they were already married and you didn't know. And I feel like that's the thing in this life. They were already married and you could have known and you might not have known, but I feel like that's something that keeps coming up for you guys, you know? And you're just kind of like, I feel like you guys have thrown in the towel in this life. And that's why I feel like Source came in here. It's like, trust that I know what you are truly worthy of and that I'm bringing you love that exceeds your wildest imagination. You guys don't believe in love anymore. You don't believe in it. You're like, screw love. Like, what's the point? There is no love. Like, love is just a bullshit thing that people do. And Source is saying, like, you were brokenhearted in a past life and that broken heart came into this life. It played a part in this life. And it's like something you're like, I feel like if you guys believed it existed, you would go to war for it. But because you guys don't believe that it exists, you guys don't go to war for it. You don't even go to battle for it. You just stand on the sidelines and watch everybody else fight it out. And you're just kind of like laugh to yourself about it, you know? It's kind of like an inside joke. Haha, you know, you guys, you're all just going to get hurt in the end. I don't know why you guys, you know. But yeah, you very much singled yourself out in a past life. And it's not, you know, again, it's something with all the piles they have in common. It's not like it was a bad life. You enjoyed yourself, but this was a struggle for you. Your perspective comes down to love and how you believe and what you feel about love. And that's something that was transferred into this life. And you guys are living a deja vu of the past life. It's a repeat. You know, and we have 2 with the Judgment here, and 2 is all about duality, and so it's about the good and bad, right? Like really believing there is a good, there is a bad, there is a this, there's a that, and you guys staying stuck in that duality. It's like everybody is a cheat, everybody's a liar, everybody's a filthy, dirty humdrum of a person, like whatever, I can't trust nobody, and it's like that's what you found peace in. That's what you found serenity in and graceful, and maybe this person that duped you was very peaceful and graceful and serene. Like the way that they approached life, it was just like they were very calm and they were very collected. And it was like you guys just had a repeat of the past and you didn't learn your lesson then. And it's saying, are you going to learn your lesson now? Because you passed away from a broken heart with a bad perspective on what life is. And now you guys are fighting that again. So again, these are just fun readings, guys. Like, you know, this is like for those of you guys that have done past life regression and you guys are learning about your past lives, this could be that confirmation that you're seeking. But for you guys, it was interesting because Source is showing me deja vu. Like as I laid out your cards, it was like I'd already seen these cards before in the exact order that they were in. And it was like deja vu, like the sense was so strong. And so I feel like Source is just reminding you, you guys are reliving a situation that you were unable to heal from. And it's this past life that you're wondering about. And then to trust Source this time, not about trusting other people, because yeah, you're not a third party person. Like you're worthy of being married. You're worthy of having what it is that you want from life. But you have to believe that and trust that Source is going to bring that to you. And sometimes that's not always easy. And sometimes we don't even know why we can't trust Source. We just know that we don't. Well, a lot of that stems from past life situations. And your past life was not like you guys were cheated on. You guys were left with the illusion that you were worthy of being this person's partner. And this person just left you high and dry. They didn't want to go further than that. Right? But you were so honest. It's like this person just didn't understand. And so just understanding that while maybe you guys are living a deja vu, this person has their own karma that they're dealing with, their own upsets that they have to go through and their own lessons that they have to learn. And so the lesson that you have to learn now is to take strength away from what's happened to you and move on with your life into a much higher place, a much higher version of yourself. Okay. I hope that helps. This is a lot of fun, guys. Please like this video, share this video, subscribe to the channel down below, set that notification bell so you always know when the next video does go live. And until next time, go forth boldly, my fellow creators, and courageously find creative ways to rise above in life, laughter, and love. Until we meet each other again. Mwah. Peace out. I love y'all. Bye.